Hey guys, Marley and I came up into the mountains. It's around 6:15 p.m. So we're up here a little late. Lindsay was having a girls' night out at home and she's got stuff going on tomorrow. And so needless to say, I got kind of kicked out of the house. So I brought Marley up here with me. We're going to be doing some camping. I did bring a tent, but I think we're probably going to just stay in the back of the Jeep tonight. We've got some nice warm weather, so it's not going to get too cold tonight. I'm going to pull a few things out of the Jeep. We're going to try and do a little hunting before it gets dark, and then we'll come back, set things up, do some cooking, have some coffee, and talk about air guns. And we'll check back in a few minutes. Right now, I'm just going to, as quickly and quietly as I can, move out here and try and get up on one of these hills so we can get down and have a good view before it gets too dark. We'll check back with you guys in a minute. We got up to the top of this hill and it's a lot darker than it may look in the camera. You really just can't see anything. We've been up here for about a half hour and I've been kind of scanning out here in front of us, and as you guys can see, we got an amazing view up here. Really just not seeing anything, and I really just don't even hear any animals, no birds or anything. So I think we're gonna just make our way down the hill to camp, start setting that up, and then we'll probably just come back up here early in the morning. So I ended up spotting a cottontail on the way back at 50 yards. Sat down, took it. It was just about dark. And so we just walked back here and I set up the light. So awesome. We got something to cook tonight. I'm going to set a few things up at camp here, clean this guy, and we'll start cooking. Okay guys, well, we're all done here. I got the rabbit, I got some bacon. I'm going to cut up one of these for Marley and cut up a few pieces of bacon for her as well. And we're going to have our dinner. I actually ate a little bit before I came up here, and so I'm not terribly hungry, but I'm going to cut some of this meat off of here for her, and then I'm gonna have the other one. Let's see how she likes this. Let's see. I'll bet you it'll be gone in about less than 30 seconds. How do you like it? Is it good? Yeah, we get to eat like pigs when we're up here, huh? I'm gonna have my dinner and then I'm gonna make some coffee and we'll hang out for a little bit. Hey, cheers you guys. Had a really good night. It was nice to come up here. We've got some nice weather. Really don't need a jacket. It's starting to get a little chilly, but most likely I'll leave the back of the Jeep open tonight. I was real happy we'd gotten that Cottontail, and it's funny because it was only about 100 yards from here. We probably could have just sat right here and seen it, so I'm planning on getting up in the morning and just kind of sneaking out and setting up, and hopefully we can see a couple more. I know there's more out there because it seems to be a pretty active area as far as tracks and a lot of droppings out there, so pretty cool. I've got a few things going on. The fires here in California have made it real difficult to get out. I'm back on some private land because the forests are still closed here. I've got the Airgun Survival Challenge coming up. I've got a couple episodes already done. I'm real excited about being able to show you guys that, and I think there's a little confusion. I think people really think I'm going to be out, using an airgun to survive. In a lot of ways I will be, but it's mostly going to be, the airgun surviving me. Really kind of show the durability of these guns and be able to show you guys some things that I've discovered, in the year I've had a lot of these guns. A lot that you guys don't see, off camera. I'm not always using, one gun. A lot of times I come up here, I've got 5 or 6 different guns that I'm taking out and I'm using and I'm filming different segments with. And so that's going to be what the challenge is. I'm going to go out, really kind of show what you guys are getting for a price point. We're going to have entry-level guns, all the way up to $2,500, $3,000 guns. So I'm real excited about that. I've got 2 reviews that I'm waiting to be able to release. They're entry-level, sub $300 PCPs. They're contenders to the Avenger and one of Humorex's new offerings. They've got kind of similar features, and they're definitely in the same price point, and so I'm excited to be able to show you guys that. One of the things, I want to do with this channel is really just keep it agenda free. I don't care if you guys buy anything, that I review. In most cases, I get paid for the video and I send the product back, and my opinion is not for sale. My job is to show my experience, show the positives, show the negatives, and let you guys make your own decision. Unfortunately, I haven't seen that in a lot of other reviewers. Everything they review is the greatest gun ever. It's so accurate, it's perfect. A lot of times they don't disclose that they've either gotten sponsored for making the video or that they're selling the product themselves. So things like that have really kind of bothered me in the past 6 months, and so that was one of the things that kind of made me want to do this project with the Survival Challenge. And so that's a project I'm real excited about, and you guys should be too, because you guys are part of the reason that I'm able to do it. With the donations, with the support from subscribers. A lot of you guys have shared my videos and, a lot of the stuff that we have on our website at Mountain Sport Airguns. And so I'm real grateful. You guys are awesome. I've got some great people. I get emails daily, asking how Marley's doing. She's great. She's asleep. She's full of bunny and bacon. And I love coming out here and bringing you guys with me. I'm going to have my coffee. I'm going to stare at the stars. And we're going to get to sleep. I'm thankful it's not cold tonight. And I'm glad that I decided not to set up a tent because it's a lot to kind of deal with. And I just wasn't feeling like it. So cheers to you guys, and we'll see you in the morning. Morning, you guys. Marley and I got up early this morning and walked around the camp, but we didn't see any rabbit activity. Last night I spotted 4 of them just around this area, and I'm kind of thinking maybe some coyotes might have came through, because I did hear a whole pack of them at probably 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So I think they scurried away and they're in hiding. I'm just having my morning coffee, and I think we're gonna pack a few things up, and we'll probably do some target shooting a little bit later. Beautiful day. May have to set something up for some shade, because once the sun comes over this hill, it's gonna start getting pretty hot. But it's clear, there's no smoke, and so I'm looking forward to it. Marley and I moved spots, and I set up this 10 by 15 tarp that should give us shade through most of the day. Right now I'm just going to pull the chronograph out of the truck, set that up. We'll just pull a few things out and we'll check back in a few minutes. Right now I'm just checking the tune of the LCS. I brought my chronograph out, and I've got this tune for the 38.5 grain NSA Slugs. They're going about 930 feet per second, and the regulator is set between 138 and 140 bar. And I've got my velocity adjuster opened up. Now, I have experimented with turning the regulator up. I know a lot of people, are curious about that. And you will gain some more power out of the gun, but the issue is it becomes really inefficient. You're using a lot more air, and in my personal opinion, it's really just not worth it to lose a shot count, for a few feet per second. So I found the gun shoots really accurately, around 930 feet per second. The heavier slugs seem to handle, speed a lot better than the lighter weight ones. You're going to get some more speed out of the lighter weight slugs, but you're going to get a few flyers from what I've noticed. And so I like to keep the gun, pretty conservative with air. I turned this back down to where it was when I received it, and I found they had it set pretty maxed out. If you want more power, it may be time to either step up to a bigger caliber, or just a different style rifle. But this seems to shoot very well, at that speed, and it's got a good amount of power. You guys saw in my last video I was able to get out, to 300 yards very accurately, and so you don't need a ton of power to get out. I think the consistency is really the key to really keeping accuracy, at least for some of the longer range stuff. And I'm able to get pretty good groups with this, at 100 yards. And it has taken, a little bit of tinkering, but, if you've got some time, you can sit out there with the chronograph and really kind of fine tune this. The velocity adjuster is fantastic. I mean, I can easily adjust my speed up and down, and I found that these 38 grain slugs seem to work really well. If I was going to go with the lighter weight stuff, I'd probably turn the gun down just a little and probably shoot them, right around 900. And if I was going to be using the pellets, I'd probably want to stick around 880, even lower. Sometimes for accuracy, slower is better, from my experience. I know some people, they're shooting their stuff, over 1,000 feet per second, and that's fine, but chances are you're just not going to get the consistency. You're going to get a couple flyers, and remember, we've got a magazine in here that has 19 shots, and so for me it's important to at least have one mag where the velocity is like pretty on top of each other. And so that's kind of what I found. I'm able to get 2 magazines on a fill, and the numbers are very, very close. And so I'm happy with that. I'm not really too concerned with shot count so much, because a lot of times I go out and I hunt and I may not go through 1 mag on a hunt. You could get the larger bottle, and I've thought of doing that with this gun, but it does add, you know, a little bit more bulk to the gun, and I'm perfectly happy with the smaller bottle. One thing I have noticed with the LCS that I'm really not a fan of is this bottom rail. And the reason I don't particularly like it is, number one, it's held on with 1 screw in the bottom here, and it's a bit long. And what'll happen, and I've seen this in, you know, reviews and in pictures and my own personal experience, if you mount this bipod forward here, there's really not much holding it. You know, it's got 1 bolt down here, and this will start to flex. And so what I've done is I just mounted it all the way back, and that seems to really help the issue. And, you know, I made sure that these were tight, and the 1 bolt in the center below it is held tight. Personally, I wish this was one thing that they had changed and, you know, made a little bit better, because it would be nice to be able to mount the bipod all the way to the end. A matter of fact, I may actually just remove this. There's no reason to have it, you know, if you can't use it that way. Like I said, I've seen people use these from the bench, and it just kind of makes me cringe when I see the thing flexing. It's just one of those things that's kind of bothered me. But once I figured out, you know, just mount it back here, it seems to work fine. One thing to note about the LCS is it's really important to keep the barrel clean, especially when you're shooting slugs. I found through experience that it leads up fairly quickly as opposed to using pellets. And so I had to pull this barrel off and do a really good cleaning, because I noticed that my accuracy was starting to fall off. I was getting quite a few flyers, and it was getting kind of frustrating. So I pulled the barrel off, did a really good job cleaning it, and I'm not just talking about, you know, running a few patches through. I'm talking about using lead remover and a brush and doing a very thorough job of cleaning it. And I also polished the barrel while I was at it, and the accuracy went up considerably. Now, I personally clean this barrel, you know, after every trip. Like later today, if I get home, you know, probably tomorrow or the next day, I'll go out in the garage and pull the barrel again and clean it. And it's always good to do that. I haven't yet to find an air gun that doesn't benefit from having the barrel cleaned. I know some people, you know, don't believe in doing it, but I haven't found that to be the case from my experience. In case you missed it, Hawk recently sent me their new Sidewinder first focal plane scope, and this is a 416 by 50. It's got the half mil dot. It's worked out really well. This is my second trip using it, and I gotta say the glass is really nice, very user friendly, very easy to adjust. Right now I generally keep it set to 8 power for hunting, and I've got the Tacticam with the FTS on here, and it makes for a really clear picture. Hopefully we can go out and do some hunting, and I'll be able to show you guys some scope cam footage. But I've really enjoyed using it. We're going to be doing a full review of this scope, and we're going to be discussing bracket ranging. Right now I'm just going to set the camera up, and we're going to head away from camp. After taking our lunch break, Marley and I headed down an old mining trail up onto the top of a hill where I was hoping we could spot some ground squirrels at a distance. I'm going to be packing up the Jeep and we're going to be heading out of here. I've had a great trip. I really hope you guys enjoyed the footage and were able to learn a little. It was nice to be able to get a cottontail last night and do some cooking and relaxing. And I really enjoyed getting out today and doing some long range hunting. We're going to have some more videos probably next week, so you guys can look forward to that. I really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll talk to you soon.